that promotes the benefits of plant-based eating for our health, for ethics, and for the environment. My name is Kim. I'm a program manager at the organization, and we put on, besides this VegFest, 100 free events all year long. So if you want to learn about those events, please sign up for our newsletter. We have it right over on the table over there. Just comes out the first of every month. And also part of the way that we are able to offer free events is through membership. So if you are already a member, thank you so much. If you're not a member, you can learn about it with the QR code on the sign over there, or you can go visit the Veg Michigan table. And with that, I'm going to introduce our next speaker. And I first just want to say, I have not personally heard Oliver's story, but my spouse did. And he said, he heard his talk a long time ago, and he said it still has stayed with him and changed his life. Oliver has a very powerful story, and I appreciate you all being here, and I'm sure you're going to be moved by his story too. In 2012, Oliver confronted a life-threatening widowmaker heart attack and was diagnosed with several lifestyle diseases. Fueled by a determination to reclaim his health, he embraced a plant-based lifestyle and implemented positive eating habits. Through unwavering dedication and resilience, Oliver not only improved his well-being, but also achieved the remarkable feat of reversing these diseases. His inspiring journey serves as a testament to the power of lifestyle choices and the potential for transformative healing when driven by determination and positive change. And with that, I turn it over to Oliver. Thank you all so much. Let's give him a warm welcome.
I was just here for the free ice cream, and she made me some microphone. So, all right. How many of you know somebody, or maybe it's you, that have high blood pressure, overweight, type 2 diabetes? Raise your hand. So in August of 2012, I was diagnosed with every single one of those. Now I was a typical guy, didn't go to the doctor, so I didn't know I was sick. It was August 12th and 13th. I woke up in the middle of the night. I couldn't breathe. It felt like my lungs were full of fluid, like I was drowning. Rushed to the hospital. They tell me that I'm having a heart attack. The next morning, I'm in the cardiac cath lab, and obviously they're performing a procedure. And the doctor looks at me, and he goes, "You're having the widowmaker."
Oh, Lord.
And he goes, "You have 3 other arteries that are completely blocked." So when you have the widowmaker heart attack, that means your LAD, or left anterior descending artery, is clogged 100%. That is the main artery that sends blood and oxygen to your brain. If you don't get to the hospital fast enough, you don't survive. That's why they call it the widowmaker. So lucky, we caught it in time, and they're placing 3 stents in the first day, and then 1 stent the next day. Things are going fine. With every medical procedure, there's always a risk, right? They always tell you something could happen. And something did happen. While they were finishing up the procedure, something went wrong with them sealing up the incision, and I started to bleed out. The cardiologist, it was like a scene from a movie. The cardiologist literally jumps on top of the table, on top of me, places his palm right over the incision to stop bleeding. Then a whole team of, I may be over-exaggerating, but there must have been at least 4 or 5 people rushed in to the room to essentially save me. So they had to literally put an incision on the other side of my groin, on the left side, in the groin, to seal up the right side. While I'm on the table, I'm wide awake, right? And my life is literally flashing before my eyes. And I'm thinking to myself, the heart attack didn't kill me. This is gonna do it. Lucky for me, obviously, I'm still here, but it was the most excruciating pain I've ever felt in my life, having a 200-something pound man just pressing down on me. So while I was in the hospital, they told me I had high blood pressure. I had type 2 diabetes. I was overweight. I was 5'8", 5'9", 240 pounds. And I forgot to mention I'm 40 years old and I'm having a heart attack. Okay. So the next 2 or 3 years were extremely difficult for me. I tried to get healthy. This heart attack scared me. I tried every diet known to man. I even invented my own, to be honest with you. Seriously, I tried keto or Atkins and this and that. And it was very difficult for me. I started to get depressed. I was diagnosed then with anxiety, depression. I was on a cocktail of meds. I mean, literally, when you go to Grandma's house, you see that bowl of candy on her table. That's what it looked like. It was M&M's, Skittles, and Good and Plenty. That's what my meds looked like. It must have been 10 to 12 meds every single day. And they were making me sick. And I couldn't figure out why I didn't feel good. The statins for cholesterol made me shake all the time, and I couldn't figure it out. And my muscles would cramp, and I felt horrible. Just absolutely horrible. My diabetes was getting absolutely out of control. Even on meds. I was on oral and insulin. My A1C level got up to 11.9. Now, for those of you who know, that's really dangerous. And most people, and it did damage. It did damage. In that span between 2012 and 2015, I was also diagnosed with diabetic retinopathy. So for those of you who don't know what that is when fluid leaks out of the back of your eyes and makes your retina swell. If not treated, you go blind. How do you treat that? Injections to the eyes. Now, I don't like needles to begin with, but to watch a needle come into your eye, I'm not, it literally, talk about blood pressure going up, I'm gonna double my meds for that. And again, what do they always tell you? There's always a risk with every simple procedure. On 2 or 3 occasions, the numbing drops did not work quite so well. And I actually felt the needles puncturing my eyes. Talk about pain. It was unbearable. I was put on a CPAP machine that year, during that year, because I was overweight. My weight actually got out of control, and I ballooned up to about 300 pounds. Now, usually I have a sexy picture up here showing that. So, if you want to see that picture, you can hop on to Instagram or on TikTok and look up Hey Coach Oliver, and I have a picture up there of this sexy 300 pound. Scared that guy away. It was one of the worst feelings in the world. I mean, by the end of 2014, I felt like I hit rock bottom. You know, my weight was out of control, my health was out of control. I felt absolutely horrible. January of 2015, sort of a life-changing moment for me. So, toward the end of 2014, my first cousin was fighting leukemia for the second time. In January, he passed away from leukemia. And I remember at his funeral, watching his family. And I thought to myself, like, this guy had no choice, right? My cousin had no choice. He was the strongest guy I knew. He had no choice. He fought it as much as he could. And here I was given a second chance at life. And I was throwing it all away, every single bit of it. I went home that night. I sat in the shower for what felt like hours, just crying. And I said to myself, I'm going to do whatever it takes to change this and get better and get help. Out of nowhere, the next morning, I'm sitting on my couch, drinking coffee, watching Fox 2 News. And the broadcaster goes, we have a gentleman coming up next after the break who reversed his type 2 diabetes on a plant-based diet. I'm like, are you kidding me? So I'm intently listening to this. And the gentleman's name is Mark Ramirez. I don't know if most people know him, Chicken and Beans. So Mark is on there talking about how he lost 50 pounds and got off all of his meds on a plant-based diet. So I went plant-based that day. What did I eat? What do you think most non-vegans think vegans eat? Oatmeal, spinach, salad, maybe a cucumber in there somewhere. That's what I did for the next week, because I didn't know any better. Like a fool. After a week, I stopped. I'm like, there's no way I can sustain living off oatmeal, spinach, and salad. There's just no way. A week later, Dr. Neil Barnard was on the news. I listened to him. He talked about his book. And I heard about forks over knives. And so I was like, okay, let's take a break here. Let's learn about being plant-based and what that really means. So I got a whole bunch of books. I watched the Forks Over Knives documentary. And now I felt better prepared. So I started back up. I lasted about another week or 2 weeks. And I thought, man, I don't know if I can do this. This is tough. And then I went again, another week or 2 weeks. And I quit. And again, I kept beating myself up. I kept going through this cycle for about 8 or 9 months. But somewhere in between there, I told myself, listen, I'm not failing. Because every time I'm restarting, I'm restarting smarter, I'm going longer, and I'm feeling better. So then in August 31st of 2015 to be exact, I fully went whole food plant-based. It was honestly the best decision I ever made. So I was determined to reverse my diabetes and lose weight. Actually, losing weight was the number one thing. I wanted to lose weight. So all of a sudden, weight starts to come off, and I'm feeling better. And I'm like, okay, I'm upgrading my food now. Let's upgrade my medical team. So I found myself a great plant-based cardiologist. And I go see him, and he's like, I'm going to prescribe something to you. I'm like, what? I'm going to prescribe yoga. I think yoga would be great for you. I'm like, dudes don't do yoga. We just don't do yoga. So he prescribes that. That was key for me. Unbelievable. Because I want to go into the gym. He's like, no, you do yoga. He goes, while you're here, let's take a test. He goes, it's called a CIMT. It measures the thickness of your carotid arteries. I want to know what your arterial age is. I'm like, okay, I'm scared. This is about 6 months into my plant-based journey. We take the test, results come back in a few weeks. And he goes, you have the arterial age of a 75-year-old man. Now I'm 45, about 45 at this time. Scared the crap out of me. And I'm thinking, how am I how am I gonna do this? Okay, maybe I can reverse diabetes, but 75-year-old arteries, how long am I gonna last? So I went whole food, plant-based, no oil, hardcore for 6 months. No cheat anything. We retake the test. Results come back. He's like, he goes, I don't know. I don't know if this is wrong. I've never really seen results like this. He goes, but your arterial age is now that of a 45-year-old man. So, I was reversing heart disease. And I didn't know this could happen because every single one of my doctors before said, you're always going to be on meds. You're never going to reverse your diabetes. You can't reverse heart disease. Okay. Right now I'm really energized because now I know that there's proof, there's evidence that things are working. So I'm pushing hard. I'm working hard. 6 months later, I go see my endocrinologist, and he puts on one of those constant glucose monitoring patches on my arm. I go back in 2 months, pulls the results, and he comes back. Mind you, this is on April 1st. He walks in, he goes, this is a joke, right? This is a trick. And I'm looking at him like, what are you talking about? He goes, never seen lab results like this. He goes, your blood sugar levels are unbelievably normal. And I go, just so you know, I took myself off all my meds about a month ago. He goes, you do not have diabetes anymore. He goes, I don't know how you did this. And I'm like, he goes, you need to teach my patients how to do this. And I'm like, Doc, I would, but then you'd be out of business. You don't really want that. I think he agreed with me. So, I reversed my type 2 diabetes, no meds. This was about 2017-ish, 2016, I can't remember, to be honest with you. Things are going great. I'm losing weight. I'm off almost all my meds at this time. And then, something strange happens to me. About 2018, I'm walking around my house and I see blood spots on my foot. I didn't think anything, what is this? It's really weird. And then I realized it's coming from my foot. And I'm looking around my foot and there's this, I don't know what, a wound. It's a wound. Go see my podiatrist a week later. He goes, you have an ulcer. Now, because I don't have any feeling in my feet, I can't feel pain or if something happens to them. I go in and they give me antibiotics, heavy doses. I'm in a boot for 2 weeks. The antibiotics make me really, really sick. I call, the doctor says, go off the antibiotics, come in, and we'll do something else. Within 4 hours of going off the antibiotics, the foot swells up. I rush into the ER, and the doctors say, your foot's heavily infected. So they put me in a much larger dose of antibiotics. 4 o'clock in the morning, they admitted me to the hospital. 4 o'clock in the morning, doctor walks in, wakes me up, and he goes, we're going to have to perform surgery first thing in the morning, about 7 a.m. Exact words. We probably will have to chop half your foot off. I didn't know what to do. Like, I couldn't even imagine life without a foot. I go into surgery. The surgeon goes, we won't know until we make an incision. We go in there. I remember waking up, looking at my foot to see if I had toes. Luckily, we had caught it just in time again, and they only had to remove one small bone from my foot. And the doctors told me if I had waited a couple of hours longer, that I could have lost a lot more than just a toe or half my foot. So again, lucky for me, foot's really intact. It took me about 6 months to recover from that, and again at home I had a PICC line, so I was administering antibiotics to myself every single day to prevent sepsis and an infection from spreading. I remember again going, I need to push harder, but I've learned so much from my journey. What was it? Why was this being given to me? I thought to myself, I need to share this with people so that way they do not have to go through what I'm going through. So I decided when I got healthy that I was gonna, become a certified health coach. I started that journey, the life coach journey, and then became a yoga instructor in that time frame. So I could help people, help them reverse these lifestyle diseases. So the next 2 or 3 years were great. I had never felt better. It was the healthiest I'd ever been. I had lost close to 100 pounds. Everything was going extremely smooth. And then last year, in March or April, my right foot swells up. Again, don't feel pain. Wake up, it's swollen. Go to the hospital, x-rays show nothing. They're like, you have cellulitis, skin infection. Okay, so again, antibiotics. Antibiotics for 2 weeks. Nothing works. I'm standing in my kitchen, and all of a sudden I hear and feel a loud pop in my foot. Shooting pain up my leg. I drop to the floor, can't move. I crawled to the couch, waited about a half hour, and I took myself to the ER. Again, they found nothing. 2 weeks later, go to the podiatrist, and he's looking at it, he's like, because this doesn't make sense. Because let's x-ray one more time, because I think I know what it is. So I was diagnosed with something called Charcot foot. I had never heard of this. It only impacts 1% of the population of people who have neuropathy because of diabetes. It's a rare bone condition. The x-rays of my foot, the doctor said, look like a bag of crushed ice. Most people have to have reconstructive foot surgery, which usually leads to infection, which usually leads to amputation. Lucky for me, again, we treated it a different way. I stayed off my foot. I was on crutches and a wheelchair, in a walking boot for about 9 months of all of last year. I kept all weight off of it. Right now, knock on plastic, things are okay, but my foot is now deformed. The bone will never heal properly. So I have to be extremely, extremely careful. Okay, so I'm walking right now at the end of December, and here's the kicker. So in January of this year, I find myself back in the hospital. I wasn't feeling good. I was gaining a lot of weight, like really, really fast. And I go in, and the doctors say they diagnose me with end-stage renal failure. Yeah. All caused by like type 2 diabetes, my high blood pressure, and the heavy antibiotics given to me over the years. So today, now I'm on dialysis 3 days a week to treat that. So that's where we're at today. A lot of people say that, but I'm okay with this because I'm learning lots of things to help other people, to help them prevent from having to go through the stuff that I had to go through. That's why I became a health coach and a life coach and a yoga coach, so that they can teach this to people and so they don't have to hit rock bottom. They don't have to deal with what I had to deal with. So, so that's been my journey so far. And a lot of people eating whole food plant-based. A lot of people tell me that if I didn't go whole food plant-based, I would not be standing here today. Not at all. So, reverse my type 2 diabetes, reverse my heart disease. The first question I asked my nephrologist in the hospital is, can you reverse kidney disease and stage renal failure? And the answer, of course, is no. And that's my challenges. So that is what I'm dedicating my time to right now, is learning to see if I can reverse and stage renal failure. So, you know what? We're going to give it a good shot. If not, modern medicine will take care of the rest for me. And so being on a whole food plant-based diet has changed my life. It is absolutely the best thing to do if you have any of these lifestyle diseases. You can reverse them. And that is, I am living proof of it. Absolutely. Is it easy? Yes. Absolutely. You take it in steps. Is it expensive like people think it is? Absolutely not. Last I checked, beans, rice, and potatoes are pretty darn cheap. I'm no kidding. I hear I'm too old. You know what? I don't believe that. My most important client came to me 2 years ago, my dad. He went to the doctors. It'll be quick. He went to the doctors. The doctor told him his A1C was 6.8, that he was going to be put on meds. And my dad calls me. He goes, what do I need to do? Told him what he needed to do. 6 months later, A1C 5.7. No meds. This guy was meat and potatoes guy. He went plant-based. 80% was plant-based. 20% was still his. And he's healthy. He lost 40 pounds. So anyone can do it. My dad can do it, and I can do it. All of you can do it. And if anyone has any questions or anything, or you want to chat with me, I'll be around here. I'll be here to answer any questions. All right?
So I just have to say, I'm actually a little teared up because I didn't realize you were still dealing with some of these health issues, and I think all of you were really moved by that too. So I just want to thank you for sharing this really vulnerable story, this very difficult journey, and sharing it to help other people. So hopefully that if they have these chronic health issues, that they can be better. And as a small token of our appreciation, however, we have this for you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And definitely, because there wasn't time for Q&A after, if you want to talk to Oliver, he'll just be right around here. We have some time before the next speaker. And then, I feel a little bad saying this because at the end of every talk, we give a treat. We have a plant-based ice cream. It is not a whole plant-based food by any stretch. It is less cholesterol and less fat than a regular dairy ice cream. So if you're here for health, think of these as a sometimes food, a sometimes treat. So if you want one of those plant-based ice creams, please see these lovely volunteers over here if you don't have a raffle ticket already, and then you can take it over to that tent, and they will give you a plant-based ice cream. And thank you all again for hearing Oliver's really powerful talk, and hopefully it will help you and any family members and friends that you have maybe either to prevent chronic health problems or to help deal with them if they have it. So thank you once again, Oliver, and thanks to all of you. And hopefully you'll be here for our next presentation.